Hello and welcome back to Warhammer. I'm your host, Mark, and we got a fun episode today, the Rak'Gol Marauders. They're one of the coolest xenos out there. You know, gun to my head, am I picking Kroot or Rak'Gol? We'll find out at the end of the episode. But joining me today, we got Gerald. Hey, welcome.
Hello. I can't promise I won't be confused with Star Wars because of Rak'Gol's from that setting.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I've tried now to do this 3 times, and Christian's mentioned twice about that Star Wars. Yeah, that Star Wars race.
Yeah, Christian would bring that up.
He would, that son of a bitch. But yeah, so I'm glad you're here. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that at the end. We also got Boba Jack with us.
What is up? I'm your host, Boba Jack. Happy to be back. Thanks to Mark's new battery pack.
Oh, yeah. This is the first official episode back. I did a bonus episode just to break myself in the other day. But yeah, the batteries are going. I got all types of power just running for no reason now. It's nice.
Oh, we're the first official episode after the battery fix. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man. And honestly, the Rak'Gol are super sweet. Like, I got a whole spiel on them, but like, you know, if I was in charge of GW and they say, what minor xenos are we upgrade to major xenos? It's the fucking Rak'Gol, man. Do you guys know much about them?
I know they're pretty cool. So.
Hey, just to throw you under the bus, you used that at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, but they didn't hear it, so that's what matters.
Oh shit. Yeah. Shh.
Yeah.
No,
there wasn't a beginning. This is the beginning of there wasn't. Yeah.
The Rak'Gol, the Rak'Gol, Rak'Gol. I don't know. To each their own, I suppose. Gerald, do you know much about them?
40K version, no. Not
Okay,
too much other than they were a serious issue during the Great Crusade, I think.
Okay, well, we're gonna go on a learning adventure today. Like I said, I'm super hyped.
Excellent.
But before we do, let's just do some quick housekeeping and get it out of the way. Hey, you want to buy some t-shirts? You want to buy me a t-shirt? Hey, that'd be pretty cool. Go to Redbubble. You can buy yourself or me t-shirts. I used to exclusively wear Warhammer merchandise, like literally 24/7. I wore a Warhammer shirt for like 5 years. But when I moved to Panama, it just tattered off my body, and now all that's left is this cutout of a muscle shirt. So go to Redbubble. Then you can buy some shirts for me or yourself if you want. Whatever, fuck it.
Yeah. The Salt stole your shirt, but we will steal your money and also give you something for it. If you were looking to join the Imperial Tithe and support the show, that would be delightful. You would get the ad-free version of the show for $2.50 and the video version for just $5. And then you could see Mark in his delightful muscle-bound shirt with his delightful Mark muscles.
I got 1 or 2 of them for sure.
Yeah, at least
biggest
one.
One's my cack, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. And he knows how to work it too.
Did you say work it or twerk it?
All of the above. To each their own.
I should have known.
Yeah.
But to piggyback off of Bowie Jack, we have the live stream. You just join the Patreon to access it. And we have ourselves a nice little chat room that's already hopping. Thank you, Jack's Carnage. We have Skeleton in there as well. So again, for just $5, you get access to all this fun stuff. And if we have time, you can be a call-in guest. So
yeah,
there you go. Why aren't you doing it? Are you a filthy heretic? Are you a filthy Xeno sympathizer?
You don't want to talk to us? You hate us? You hate us? We're not getting out.
Please. For only $1 a month, you can support Bobby Jack's mental health. Let's help him not break down.
We need a lot more than that money-wise. Currently, those fundings are going into alcohol for alcoholism reasons.
We just got a new person here saying I'm joining Patreon and the streams when I catch up. Rockin' Stone, my digger. Yeah,
Rockin' Stone.
Yeah, well, let's get into the Rak'Gol Marauders. In this episode, we're going to be going over their appearance and biology, their powers and abilities, their history, their homeworld and galactic geography. They're primarily found in the Kronos Expanse, but man, they conquer worlds. They have colonies, they have orbital habitations, and they're race of voidfarers as well. So lots of different little things in there that they're up to. Their cultures and beliefs we'll get up to, including their caste system. This is one of the coolest elements about them in my mind. Just this kind of, you grow in... I'm trying not to spoil the episode too much, but as you grow in stature, you kind of get more abilities, we'll say. We'll leave it at that for right now. Then we'll get into their technology, different weapons, different upgrades that I was kind of mentioning. Get into their vessels, and man, their ships are crazy. I'll Google a picture when we get there. They have ships that are bigger than the Imperium ships, and they're covered in like these cool, sleek, like razor blades almost. It almost looks like an aggressive, like pine cone, where it's like these like fins all jutting out, but they're sharp and aggressive. It's pretty neat. And then we'll get into the relationship with other species in the galaxy, which is usually violent and never ends well. So pretty cool, this race. Can't wait to talk about them.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Let me give you, or maybe we'll read this first little overview part, and then I'll give the sales pitch about why I love them so much. Things to keep out for.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one is.
Okay, I thought you wanted to read your overview first.
Oh, sorry. There's a bunch of quotes here that I wrote down. So we each get one quote. I'll read the first one, and then Gerald, you can read the next one, and then Bobby Jack, the final one. So I'll do the first quote here about the Rak'Gol. They're coming through the walls. We've lost the engineerium and the port gun deck. Urgent assistance. The need for heavier arms. Screeching sounds interlaced with rapid, short cannon fire. Falling back. God Emperor saved me! The broken through! And that was from just my terrible voice acting, but, it was read from the transcription of voice data recovered from a wreck of the merchant brig Daughter of Regals, lost with all hands.
Wow. Good thing they found it.
No one was even there to shoot their corpses out into space for them. Send them off right. Fuck.
Oh,
that's sad.
At least they found the ship.
That's a win.
Why didn't they make the ship out of whatever that black box was, though? That they found the transcription.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah, they didn't just. Is the Imperium killing us on purpose?
I guess the next quote there.
No, never. This quote comes from Hob Vec, a survivor of a Rak'Gol attack. I come out from beyond the light of the Emperor. Savages who will skin you while you watch. There's no escape. They'll consume us all.
Nice. Okay, I'm liking it.
Oh. All right. I have a quote from Sergeant Voran speaking to his squad moments before leaping out of Voidlock unshielded.
Ooh,
good. You thought they couldn't exist. You thought that the stories your squad mates told you were just meant to entertain you between engagements on long campaigns. You were wrong. They're here now. And that means we're already dead. Dead!
I like that both of you almost went a little Australian there with it. Like, these things are
we're not good at British.
Yeah, it's like they're just down in Australia, the Rak'Gol just raiding them.
Well, they are Spider-esque, it seems. So it...
Spider-esque. I don't know if I agree with that. Esque? Okay, you said Spider-esque, not fully. They have many limbs,
they got many limbs. And you know who else has many limbs? Spiders.
Gotcha, bitch. Yeah. Okay, you win. All right, let me read the little bit about them in general. The Rak'Gol, or abominable xenos predators. A crawling terror that erupted from the starless gulfs beyond the Hellenic depths just a century ago. Their presence in the Kronos expanse is no longer whispered as myth, but screamed in blood. Emerging from the void like a virus born on nightmare wings, they descend with cold, merciless frenzy. Warped, eight-limbed atrocities clad in rusting augmentics and crude weaponry. Their shattered void ships and silenced colonies in hours before vanishing into the dark. Pale as grave dust, their limbs jerk like broken machinery. They mutilate themselves with metal, replacing their flesh with screaming steel. Reptilian husks sculpted in agony. Over 3 meters long, the Rak'Gol are monstrosity. The Rak'Gols are monstrous imitations of life, etched in violence and decay. Their screeching, bladed static ruptured vox feeds and sanity alike. No Rak'Gol has ever been taken alive. Their name comes from ash-choked legend whispered by the desperate of the footfall. Warnings that proved all too real. Yeah, so there's already a couple things. You know, that line of they've never been taken alive, is that really true? That's propaganda, maybe to some degree, but fucking cool to think about that you find out they would rather just go into a berserker frenzy and like they are warriors through and through. That's all they like to do.
Real sees real. That's what I gotta say to that. I respect it.
If we have any arachnophobes in the chat now, now's a good time to just vamoose.
Well, like
Well, they're
here's
also
how I
reptilian.
describe them. They're like more like a centaur lizard. You know, where it's like a lizard body with almost like a humanoid torso, but the humanoid torso is also kind of a lizard. But it's kind of that like that's where the arms and all that weirdness comes from. It's legs and 4 arms, and yeah, it's fucked.
I thought they were supposed to have that psychic ability that makes you attracted to them. So they're like they're like whatever you imagine is hot.
You've been on no. Here, let me show you a picture of these bad boys.
My bad.
I was gonna say, we're not. This is not another Slanesh episode. What am I doing here?
Hey, Gerald, you're here. It becomes a Slanesh episode as soon as I see you.
Yeah, okay, so here we go. They're pretty cool looking. As you can see, yeah, they have like they're almost like that centaur where it's like you know, the lizard body with the upright torso, and then just multiple arms every which way.
Okay, so not arachnophobic word.
Yeah.
No,
for the listeners, it's like a snake body, but they have legs. 4 legs. Not even 6.
Yeah, they're cool. They're neat.
They're really cool. They got that weird neck gizzard thing too, by the way. I'm not lying to any of you who don't subscribe to the Patreon to watch this. They got those weird mating neck things that lizards have. They got one of those, and they're trying to mate.
I could do with those, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, now we become a Slanesh episode. There it is.
Yeah.
Other quick things I really like about them and things to kind of keep your eye out for is we've talked before about a couple species, minor xenos, being like the predator knockoffs almost. These guys, I think, are the real predator knockoffs. Maybe not in appearance, but in mentality. And they take it to that 40k level where it goes over the top, and we'll see what we mean by that.
Yeah, and we could talk more about that with their like how they look in their biology. The Rak'Gol are nightmarish aberrations, wielding 8 grotesque limbs in lethal harmony. Their upper claws can twist and reshape muscle and bone to mimic hands. They're with opposable digits that rend and seize. Crawling with unnatural speed, they scale surfaces upside down, their prehensile tails flicking for balance. Towering at 2.6 meters and weighing nearly 200 kilograms, their rough, stony skin resembles petrified flesh, as if ancient lizards were wrapped by primordial rot. Deep-set, soulless eyes stare from skulls crowned with tympanic membranes, attuned to sounds beyond human perception. Their biology fuses flesh and machine. Keen alien senses are often enhanced or corrupted by bionic implants. Warp taint and radiation are etched into their genome, perhaps bred deliberately through exposure to their own fission pulse drives. Their forms mutate across the expanse, some clearly shaped by warp energies, others by radioactive decay. No tribal symbols have ever been found, only raw savagery, as though intelligence has been eroded by fury. Megos biologos dissected remains reveal egg-laying reproduction and brutal metamorphosis that reshape their bodies as they mature. A trinary breeding system may link rank to biochemical transformations, twisting their physiology in cycles of age and status. But no live Rak'Gol have been studied long enough to confirm it. So wait, their eggs get better the higher rank they are?
Okay, so you're picking up slowly. So what happens with the Rak'Gol, what makes them so interesting is we've mentioned a couple times now they're bionics, and as they age as part of like their hunts and as like honor markings and marks of maturity, even like instead of a bar mitzvah, they go on their first hunt, and if they're successful, they get, drumroll, their first bionic. And as they go on more and more hunts, they start to become more and more machine. And eventually some of them become so big that they're the size of titans. So all that might be left of them is maybe like their head in this like massive bionic titan scale thing. So this is where they get super crazy. So that's where their eggs kind of get linked to that, where it's like maybe they call out the leaders a little bit, and we'll learn more how that kind of plays out. But there's the cool gimmick of them.
Yeah, I have so many questions about these guys, and I really appreciate you putting it into terms that I as a Jew, could understand.
I know, yeah. I thought you might like that.
Yeah, I did. Especially the fact that, like, apparently they go through a metamorphosis, so they could still be around. We just don't know. Like, we don't know the age process or how anything of them works.
Yeah, because you just can't study them. Like, even, we kind of get the example of them catching a female who's pregnant, who you probably wouldn't think would be like a fighter, but even that one fights back to the death violently.
Yeah.
That you just don't catch
them. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, a good thing we don't catch them.
Yeah. The other quick little note too about studying them, they've only apparently been around for like 100 years, around the Imperium at least.
Okay.
So that's
get
not
shit on Tau.
Yeah.
Another common, everything else is better than the Tau W.
Doesn't take much.
No.
Yeah, but then
But you got to let them know their place.
Gundams everywhere.
Trash.
But Purge here had asked a good question about do they use any psychic abilities? Which Mark had answered. Yes, they do. They have techno shamans, and which also leads into their powers and abilities. So, though the Rak'Gol are a horrifying, violent xenos species, they are mercifully lacking in psychic potential, or so many xenographers of the Coronis Expanse claim. Yet, scattered reports from survivors and rogue scholars speak of rare Rak'Gol psychers known as techno-shamans, terrifying figures capable of manipulating strange energies, merging their bodies with ancient technology, and pursuing cryptic goals through the warp. These beings are feared and begrudgingly respected by their kin, who give them space when encountered. Techno-shamans are obsessed with lost technologies, particularly the cursed relics of extinct xenos like the Yuvath, which they graft onto themselves to gain powers that resemble psychic abilities. These cybernetic horrors are surrounded by unnatural energy flows that surge through crystalline implants, artifacts some claim are the very source of their power. So rare and dangerous are these abominations that inquisitors and renegade tech priests alike offer immense rewards for capturing one alive. More on this and more on the techno shamans later. Foreshadowing. Dun dun dun!
I wonder if we're going to hear more about those techno shamans.
I sure hope so. Yeah.
Golly gee!
Purge asks another great question. Is the fear and panic they generate in their prey natural, or is it other factors like their bionics or their shamans? Yeah, a little bit of everything that you kind of mentioned. Definitely the bionics, a little bit of the shamans. The way I kind of pictured them and always kind of had them described when reading about them is their technology is this crude stuff, and they slap so much of it on themselves. They almost look like this shambling, jerking, like abnormal thing where there's also like this fear of machinery. I forget what it's called, like not arachnophobia, but it's like this fear of machinery getting plugged into you. So like the Rak'Gol also really hit hard on that with like they're not replacing their arm with a look-alike arm. They're replacing it with something that is like so abnormal and just kind of throws you off and like is like uncanny valley almost maybe, but yeah, not quite that.
Yeah. Plus, knocked something that's 2.6 meters tall and charging at me with cybernetics is also pretty scary.
Yeah, climbing on the ceiling.
Yeah, climbing on the ceiling. It's got 8 legs. I'm scared for other reasons.
Yeah,
The technology's pretty spooky too, I guess. But yeah, no, they're pretty scary. And also apparently they fuck around with ships a lot. So dark ship, small hallway, big angry thing crawling on the ceiling towards you, sexually frustrated.
We went somewhere that I don't want to go with you. Not yet, anyways, but we'll get there soon.
Yeah, yay! Now we're going to talk.
We have to have more of a history together. No, that was not the best one. Gerald's last one was killer.
No, Gerald's last one's we're not going to beat Gerald, so we just have to get worse.
Oh, that's always how we go. I forgot about that. It's been so long since the battery bust episodes.
Exactly.
Okay,
it was history.
Hit on Gerald. Poor segues. That's the goal.
Yeah, hit on Gerald. Rub hand, upper inner thigh. Segues.
The true history of the Rak'Gol is a void, scraped clean of records buried beneath eons of violence and drowned in radiation. No known archive, alien or imperial, holds any verifiable origins for this species. Some whisper that they are degenerate remnants of a once advanced race, consumed by their own cybernetic perversions and left to rot among the dead stars. Others claim they are a manufactured horror, spawned in the long shadow of extinct empires like the Yuvoth, engineered as living weapons to that break free of their creators. What is certain, the Rak'Gol emerged from the blackness of the Halo stars without warning or identity, already clad in metal, already maddened by war, already lost. They carry no culture, no creed, only the burning legacy of survival through slaughter. Their past is written not in words, but in the butchered remains of every species unfortunate enough to cross their path. They're just like out on the beach laying out limbs and like different hello.
I could see a buddy cop movie between a Rak'Gol and a Krieg.
Oh, okay, yeah. But the Kriegman dies every episode by the Rak'Gol and gets replaced. Is kind of
yeah. But every single Krieg officer knows how to slide across the hood of a Crown Victorian.
Oh, not a Rak'Gol.
Oh, every Krieg officer knows how to slide across the hood of a Rak'Gol. They're the cop car. Oh, all right, nobody take that. That's mine. I call dibs.
That's his.
That's his.
There is more history on them, but honestly, we don't need to know because the Rak'Gol themselves don't care. So honestly, we don't need to care either. But if you do want to know, the Imperium has some record on them where it's like different battles. And I read them and took kind of the vibe from them, but nothing too crazy happened. So we'll just kind of move on in the history because the Rak'Gol don't care, man. They would rather, instead of pick up a book, pick up a knife. And ain't that fun?
Yeah, that's it. They're British.
Again, I'd like to bring up the fact that they're from the Halo stars, which, along with the Ghoul stars, is just one of those two places that get so much mention. Again, I keep bugging Mark that we need to do episodes on one or both of those.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, what could be in there? Like some crazy scientist just making crazy creatures and unleashing them onto the galaxy? Maybe. Hard to say. We'll find out.
Some dude named Gary.
Some dude named Gary's in there.
Named Gary, and he's making all the technology. Bring back Gary.
Maybe he's a Krieger that's the buddy cop.
Oh.
And then when he dies at the end of every episode, they'll pull a South Park. Oh my God! They killed Gary.
What they killed Kriegsman Gary?
Emperor, they killed Gary.
You xenos scum.
Dude,
the chat loves you, Boba Jack. Oh.
I no, he's the editor. He doesn't love me, but that's okay. And really, that history topic was super cool. But homeworld and galactic geography.
There it is.
There it is.
There we
That's
go.
Now the
symbol.
only question is, do I try to beat you for the worst segue, or do I just become the natural medium balancing out point? I forget where we landed. We'll
I
find
think
out.
that well, either or, we'll figure it out.
Soon, TM, I'm sure.
But soon, TM Homeworld Galactic Geography. Some whisper that the Alanic depths cradle the birthplace of the Rak'Gol, a blighted nest where void and nightmare merge. Others believe the depths are merely a wound torn open by by their passage, a corridor through which they spilled from a further blacker realm. No truth survives. Those who dare to penetrate it are cursed. Penetrate that cursed region, vanish utterly, consumed by whatever nightmare lies within. At times, fragments of those lost expeditions return: twisted metal, shredded hulls, and charred human limbs proudly displayed as grotesque trophies aboard Rak'Gol ships. To seek their origin without a crusade worth of firepower is suicide, veiled in hubris. Yet now, terror metasizes beyond the depths. Reports trickle into Port Wander. Whispers of Rak'Gol claimed planets outside their ancient hunting grounds spreads like a cancer beyond its primary lesion. These sightings were long dismissed, rumors, madness, or misidentified horrors, until the black skies of Holtzfall bore witness to truth in 1801 M41. Blood was spilt. Lord Captain Patricianus Holt fought a brutal void war above a fortified Rak'Gol outpost. It is unknown how long the xenos have infested that world, or why they fortified it. In the end, none would know. Holt unleashed orbital fire upon the surface, reducing the alien edifice to molten ruin. Whatever secrets their structures held were buried under vitrified stone and irradiated dust. There were no answers, only silence and ash, which is all we need, because libraries deserve to be thrown into the sun.
This is true. We don't need books, we need knives in this episode.
The knife episode.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's knife episode. Knife.
It's like a hand check, but with knives.
Well, weaponry check. Oh, he got
what
it. He
kind of
got
weapon
it.
does Gerald have?
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
That's a knife.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
a knife.
Fucking, you
the
might be able to
listeners,
survive a Rak'Gol attack with that.
Yeah, he just pulled out a Bowie knife. Damn. All right.
Yeah.
I'll just put my machete away. Machete. Yeah.
I'm in Panama. I'm rocking the machete all day long, man. But
It's standard issue.
standard issue down here, honestly, it's pretty fun. It's neat. You can walk into like grocery stores with one strapped to your hip. I always wanted to do that with swords. Always, since a little kid, and I can do that. I'm living my life. Anyways, basically the homeworld. They don't really care to have one. They don't care to maintain one. It's not like they're building some glorious empire. We've picked up on the term hunting grounds, where that's kind of what they like to call the planets that they've been on. Cute.
Or so we think.
Yeah.
We haven't had that many words with them. Wonder why. Do you think the Tau tried to make peace with them?
I would have to look at the map, but I think the Halo stars are in the north east of the galaxy.
Right. I forgot that Tau aren't anywhere and they're just in a small corner and we need... Yeah, I forgot. My bad. I forgot that the Tau stuck.
A small quadrant of 10 planets?
Yeah.
And 6,000 years to do?
But I don't think the Tau would like these guys very much. You don't make trades with them. You don't make deals with them. Like, they're just here to wage war. Any relation to the Thraxians? Not sure. I got to remember which one that one was.
Probably another minor Xenos.
Yeah.
I have good answers. Hopeful.
Trying to find a
and your segues, the people are loving your segues. I don't think you can get any worse. The segue has its own segue explaining the segue, and then that's called a pre-segue. It's like a preamble ramble, but with a lot more stuttering. Like the pre-cum of segues. They like your segues, my man.
And pre-cum has sugar in it, so you know it. If you got a sweet tooth, my segues.
Gerald, tell me about the world so Bobby Jack will shut up, please.
Oh my god. I completely lost my train of thought. Oh Lord of mercy. This is just okay. Worlds.
What?
Worlds under control of the Rak'Gol. Here we go.
We're gonna build a wall to keep all of the xenos out.
The Rak'Gol are just gonna climb over it.
No,
it's not gonna work.
No, I'm gonna put a half slab on the top. They can't climb on the half slabs.
They're 2.5 meters tall. They can climb over it. No big deal. We'll just have to eradicate them.
No, 4 blocks tall. 4 blocks tall. Spiders can't climb that high.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So all these worlds, we got to put 4 blocks tall.
4 blocks tall. We will beat the Ender Dragon.
Oh man. Whether the Rak'Gol wage a war to expand or enact some unknowable alien purpose etched into their deranged mind is irrelevant. The rest is the same: planet scoured, irradiated, and broken. Every known Rak'Gol-infested world bears the scars of their insanity. The majority do not even live upon the surface. They cling to orbiting hulks, raining down nuclear ruin until the crust splits and the soil turns to poisoned glass. No reason is ever found. Sometimes they burrow into the blasted wastelands they've made, building metallic warrens of madness. Other times they leave those zones untouched, as if they will not tread upon the desolation they have birthed. Each of their worlds bears one name among the cursed: Rad Zone. Even barren rocks, once devoid of feature, become pocked with zones of death, glowing with a malign light. These sites are not simply contaminated, they are virulent scars, landscapes transformed into killing fields by radiation so thick it clings like a fog. These zones are not a byproduct, they are deliberate. Their frequency marks the depth of Rak'Gol infestation, each zone measured of Xenos' presence and wrath. Even their smallest outposts are never alone above. Above, at least one Rak'Gol warship, prowls like a beast defending its den. On more significant worlds, entire battle groups encircle the star system, metallic predators waiting to pounce. The stars themselves seem to recoil.
Fucking love it.
It's like they have cat brains. They just fuck with your shit and don't care about it.
Yeah, maybe, it's just like that predator instinct.
Yeah,
they don't even necessarily have to kill you. Like, they might just play with you for a bit and then kill you.
Yeah, or they might actually use the place as a litter box. Or maybe they dump all the sand on the floor for no reason because they're the worst.
They might cuddle you. They might scratch your eyes out. No, they won't cuddle you. They
might actually do both, and not always in that same order either.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Like, everywhere they go, it's just destruction. Like, it doesn't even seem like they're mining stuff. And when we get into their technology a little bit, I've mentioned that it's pretty crude, but it's also like highly scavenged and stuff. And they're just not. It doesn't seem like they're creating new tech. And they're not shooting like crazy like laser beams necessarily. Like, it's all pretty brutal. Slug
they've got like that. Yeah, they've got like some sort of piston that launches a rock at Mach shitfuck.
Yes. That would be a great weapon, yeah. Rocks are not free though, citizen. Always remember that.
That's why they blow up the planets and cover them in irradiated glass to use depleted uranium glass as weapons. Mm-hmm. They're Americans. Oh my god.
The chat saying your segues are getting worse.
Yeah, they're gonna take me out back. You offered, but they are just gonna shoot me themselves.
Yeah. Bonus episode
like
where you
Luke.
hunt. Yeah, so they want me to hunt you through the wildernesses of Panama on the
I'm
Patreon.
really down for it. But you do have to cut off my feet and my hands when you do grill me eventually.
I will. And what I do with those is my business.
Yeah, you can keep them, but I want you to do that thing where they wrap me in tinfoil and then you use a flamethrower to like cook me. I want that.
Okay. I'll
I
do
call
you
this
better than I
recipe-
did Eric. No ceremony when I ate that guy.
Yeah, I want a ceremony this time though. I'm a special princess.
Yeah. Well, I'm loving that
Almost
idea.
recipe
Join the
Dutch bogey.
Patreon. We'll start an exclusive. We get to $2,000. That's the flight for Boba Jack's plane ticket down to Panama, where I can hunt him on the island.
Well, I feel like we should do. We also need to supply both of ourselves with arms if we are playing the most dangerous game. So I'd say like around $5,000, and I'll let Mark hunt me for sport live.
Okay, sweet, fucking sweet.
You got like 24 hours to hunt me, and if you
Okay.
get me, you get to kill me, and you have to eat me live. It's a mukbang, also.
the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Okay, join the Patreon. So the Rak'Gol also have colonies, infestations now festering throughout the Kronos expanse. They got to fucking breed somewhere, spreading like a malignant cancer. They're most often sighted between the God Emperor Scourge and the Pelinio Echoes, regions already choked with the detritus of their predation. Their sediments seem transitory, impermanent, as though each is but a severed limb of some greater, writhing beast. More horrifying still are confirmed reports of Rak'Gol activity far beyond their established hunting grounds, deep in the Winter Scales realm. Even the outer reaches of the founding worlds, no sightings have yet occurred near Footfall or the Maw, but whispers abound that the silence is temporary, a calm before planetary annihilation. A Rak'Gol colony is not born. It erupts, announced by a barrage of radioactive fire that strips all life and sanity from the crust of the world. From this crucible, their rad zones are born, glowing scars upon the planet's surface. Only then do the xenos descend, carving their warrens into poison husks. Sometimes they dwell within these lethal zones, sometimes they do not. There is no pattern, no logic, no human mind can parse. Only the certainty that once they arrive, nothing sane remains. So they're able to live in this rad zone, and maybe it's like, they don't even care. They're lopping off their limbs anyways if it gets too radiated. Replacing it with bionics is the goal anyhow. Maybe they just have enough iodine pills that it ain't no big deal. But either way, they'll live in there. Sometimes.
Yeah, if they feel like it. If not, they just did it for no reason. Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
exactly.
But that zone does seem pretty rad.
Maybe it's like a mating call. Maybe they like irradiate that world and instead of a nice little peacock feather dance, like, look how glowing green this planet is for you. Now
They like irradiate a penis into it.
Yes, exactly. Rak'Gol version penis, but yeah.
Maybe like a big cloaca then, because they're reptilian.
So what you're saying is they're selectively radiation graffitiing the planet to do all these little symbols.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because you said it's spaces. It's not even like the whole planet. It's rad zones. The whole planet's not one rad zone. So realistically, it has to be one big cloaca.
Has to be. That's the only option.
Yeah, there's no other option.
Now, if you would just quickly and quietly come out back with me, I got to show you something.
Cool.
Ideas.
Oh, are you going to show me your new gun that you got? Oh, man, that's so rad.
Come on, sweet Bobby Jack. All right, Gerald, take it. Oh, orbital habitation. Tell me about them. Tell me.
Those fellas, and they're up there. Let me tell you, the Rak'Gol at times birth vast and grotesque orbital abominations, structures that drift like diseased parasites above ruined worlds, seething with populations equal in number to their hellish colonies below. No logic governs their placement. The Rak'Gol chose which planets to infest from orbit or from soil, not based on resource, air, sustenance, but by alien whim. Their methods are unknowable and likely insane. One disturbing tale, unverified yet persistent, tells that the Rak'Gol studying a planet from tells of the Rak'Gol studying a planet from orbit, only to unleash their void station's full arsenal upon it the moment they were detected, vaporizing their own landing force without hesitation or remorse. Each of these orbital monstrosities is a fortress, a tomb bristling with killing implements. Even the most bloated and crowded of their habitats are fortified like siege platforms, armored and armed to the bone. They bleach fire from howler cannons and scream with roarer beams. Infamous weapons found across their fleets. Lacking torpedo arrays or fighter bays, these installations seem forged not for void war, but for ambush, mutilation, and capture. Though they rarely descend, the Rak'Gol still mutilate the planet below, scorching the crust with rad zones from afar. Some whisper of a dedicated planet killer hidden within these structures, purpose-built to sow radioactive death. No such station has been seized intact.
I think you're right, man. I think they're literally shooting space radiation lasers down at the planet and just graffitiing it.
Just Rak'Gol was here. I genuinely there's no other just fucking around. There's no other answer.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
Or maybe they're weird drones from another species. If they're doing all that studying, liberal nonsense, by the way.
Yeah.
They're only studying.
Brains
so
are
they
dumb.
Yeah.
They're only studying so they can learn how to radiate the planet better.
Yeah. They shoot a laser here as opposed to here.
Studying to radiate more efficiently. Drawing a penis faster than ever before with radiation.
More penises. Now we have the technology to do 3 at once.
Now we could do the big vein in the middle.
Fuck.
Oh
man. Yeah, so even they do have big orbital stations, pretty cool. They're we've definitely alluded to that. Yeah, they don't have homeworlds. They definitely are traveling void farers for sure.
Absolutely.
Void.
And what else is a void farer? Their ships, because they fare through the void. I too can make really bad segues.
No, that was better than what we did, though, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
That one looked good in comparison to our segues.
Boo.
Fuck, fake clever is better than just dumb,
Yeah, it worked, right? We were just actually dipshits, Yeah. This train is real.
That's so funny. Yeah.
He gets for non-tax reasons. He does get paid only in Hawaiian sweet rolls. So
hey, I fucking love those rolls, man.
Everybody
Keep them
loves
coming.
Hawaiian sweet rolls.
Yeah. Would the rest of you be so lucky if I paid you in that?
Or paid us at all. I haven't eaten in weeks.
That way you can run faster from Mark whenever we do the live hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you forgot to mention, during this whole thing, I'm going to be the dipshit. I'm going to be the dipshit looking over this and just narrating the whole thing like that soccer announcer. And he's running. Oh, Mark shoots arrow. Goal!
Should we get you a blimp so you can sit above and watch from your blimp?
Yeah, probably. I don't think that would be that expensive. Okay, so now we need 10 grand for Bobby Jack.
Yeah. But it's worth it. It's
worth it. We'll live stream it from a blimp. What's not to like?
Yeah, right? We'll have a blimp. Hell yeah. And we'll paint Gerald's face on the side of it, and we could just make it Gerald's.
Okay, I'll even dress up as a Rak'Gol and hunt him.
Vestigial 8 limbs.
Yeah, man. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. And if for an extra grand, I'll do the entire thing bare ass.
Now we're talking.
Lubed up.
Next time on Naked and Afraid.
Except this time, the naked is the frayed.
God damn.
That's a segue.
That's a segue, by the way.
Yeah.
to
Just
my
so you guys are aware.
to the blimp with my face on it, which is not a Voidfarer, unfortunately. So that's probably going to be another 10,000 to get a good Voidfaring ship, and I don't know. I'm running out of ideas here. Okay, major Rak'Gol worlds beyond the Hellenic depths are scarce, but each festers as a singular nightmare, an unholy nexus of destruction, surrounded by fleets bred solely for annihilation. As long as even one such hive of corruption endures, it is one too many for the Imperium's fragile grasp, and their true numbers lurk far beyond what is known. Wherever these abominations are marked on charts and star maps, they carry warnings of utter damnation. Yet countless more lie hidden, undocumented, and waiting. Worlds within reach of their nightmarish vessels often suffer preemptive devastation. Entire surfaces shattered into radioactive deserts, shattered beneath cyclopean monoliths, and the grotesque fortresses whose walls rise like serrated blades or jagged fangs, gouging the land. Countless rad zones scar these blasted wastes like festering sores, while vast ones gash the terrain like open wounds. Only the faint mercy of fate consigns most of these worlds to the depths near Hellenic, or to those cursed sectors where the Rak'Gol's malignant influence festers most fiercely.
Yeah, cool. You know, they're just out there doing their thing, popping up,
They're-
doing their thing, disappearing.
Yeah. Irradiating a penis into the side of the planet, leaving.
Yeah.
Maybe they draw hair on the balls, maybe they don't.
Maybe they don't. It's up to them, not up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hooded, unhooded, we'll never know.
Oh God! Oh God! Okay, what imagery have you created in my mind? I got a
An
fucking
uncircumcised penis.
yeah. I got
I
a
was gonna say,
radiant
don't tell the
bird out of
don't explain
my
the joke.
fucking-
Well, I had to give it to everybody else too. Gosh.
Leave it to the
That's
Judas.
rude.
Talk about fucking penis and cutting tips off and goddamn.
Next
Just
episode, I'm sharing with Jack. I'm putting vodka in this.
yeah.
Vodka
Jordan's
won't
already
save you.
drinking. Yeah, might as well. All right, the culture and the beliefs of the Rak'Gol. The Rak'Gol are monstrous predators, raw savagery incarnate, less a species than a living nightmare. Though crude in their craftsmanship, they forge void shifts and twisted bionics from scavenged wreckage, tools of destruction welded with cold precision. They hunt with ruthless efficiency, driven by insatiable bloodlust. At their grotesque apex stand abominations, hulking horrors stitched from mangled flesh and crude machine parts, their forms a blasphemous mockery of life. These warped titans command fleets of ships and packs of killers, ruling through brutal dominance. The Rak'Gol show no hint of curiosity or diplomacy, only the merciless drive to annihilate all other life. Attempts by the Adeptus Mechanicus to capture them alive have ended with failure and carnage. When trapped, Rak'Gol unleash berserk fury, battering themselves against containment until they break free or die with their own rage, swiftly silenced by cold gunfire. Their society is an enigma of primal horror. Knowledge comes from scattered encounters and the scattered remains of attacked colonies. Their speech is an alien noise, shrill screeches and guttural rasping, utterly incomprehensible. But Bobby Jack, you're gonna give us some screeches here when I'm done reading. So yeah, so look forward to that. Their origins are lost to shadow. Perhaps they spawn from the dark worlds beyond the explored expanse, or lurk behind alien veils of obscuring phenomenon. When they tear through the star systems, remains inscrutable, a maddening riddle woven into the alien psyche. Rak'Gol are relentless pack hunters, bound by slaughter and survival. From hatchlings, they're brutalized into warriors, taught to fuse their deadly strengths with other weaknesses, so the pack prevails where the individual fails. Blood rites under the savage clutch masters baptize young killers in fire and death. Survivors are grafted with twisted bionics and infernal cybernetics. Their flesh fused with machines designed only for murder. Those who endure their brutal engines of slaughter, half flesh, half cold metal, utterly merciless, remorseless, embodiments of death incarnate. Fucking cool.
Do their children also learn Fortnite dances, or is that just ours?
I think that is just ours in the entire galaxy. I think
but they might floss.
I don't think they do. Maybe they literally floss with a human, but
Yeah,
yeah, no.
maybe. So you want those Rak'Gol noises now, or
Yeah, give me the
yeah?
Rak'Gol noise.
So I gotta put my arms like this. It helps.
You're a method actor, I know.
Yeah. Like, yeah, like I feel like that's
Yeah.
what we're going for.
Yeah,
And then
nice.
they bash their head into the containment field until it goes, and yeah.
That sound when you crack an egg. Yeah. I like
What
it.
did I just come back to?
Did you hear the Rak'Gol noises, or did you hear the cracking egg on containment fields, or both?
Well, it started with the Rak'Gol noises, then it ended with the crack in the head.
Oh, well, that's what they do. You missed it. So when they put them in containment, they're like a great white shark, and they just kill themselves instantly. Apparently, it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that screech, I don't like it. I think it's very familiar to another sound you make often. So
I make a lot of noises often, so yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of a lot of them. That was Bogue's mating call.
That's what I got the vibe of too there, Lupercall. I'm glad I wasn't the only. Well, I'm not glad, but fuck, other people are thinking it.
I'm not glad. Put on my primordial hood.
I like these the Rak'Gol, like I was kind of saying, as they mature, they get more and more trials, and as they get trials, they get upgrades. So they kind of have this caste system as you kind of rank up and get more upgrades. You know, if you have one upgrade, you're only going to be a Rak'Gol Carver, where if you have 50 or more, you might be an abomination or something else. So maybe we'll just read one sentence. There's a bunch here, but let's try to cut them down because there's so much. And
yeah. I mean, so the first one we'll start with is the Rak'Gol Carvers. They're smaller than many of their compatriots. They still tower over a human, obviously, because they need to. But they're built for speed and power with savage melee weapons, stuff like that. They also,
if you want. Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. Sure. I was just gonna say they also they're normally the first wave as well. After that, you see all the regular broodmasters, marauders, abominamanans, techno shamans, stuff like that.
Yeah, like these are like the youngs. You know, you send your young in their blood crazed and frenzy, and then after that, you send in the Rak'Gol Marauders, and they're more of your like frontline warriors. They're pretty heavily augmented. You know, they're going to have a couple of them, and they kind of just will rush you. Typically, you know, they'll kind of rush you faint, and then other ones will rush in. We were talking about them being like pack hunters, so think like how wolves kind of circle and taunt and tease. You know, pick out the weak ones, all those kind of fun tactics.
Yeah. Gerald.
Okay. Broodmasters. Broodmasters act as the battlefield commanders of the Rak'Gol, directing packs of marauders with ruthless efficiency and often captaining larger warships. Typical Broodmaster-led assault involves laying in wait along warp routes, disabling ships, and massacring crews, leaving only few survivors and summoned reinforcements. So this kind of, I don't know, it almost sounds like they're deliberately leaving survivors just so they can call in more people, just so there's more fun to go around, kind of like an actual Predator would. Yeah,
like these guys are almost the sergeant equivalent. So they're taking a bunch of like you know, the hatchlings or the carvers kind of under their wings. So yeah, you almost leave those survivors and to let your young get their first taste of blood, you know.
Yeah, you send them after the lone guardsman down a hallway.
Yeah.
Another cast is the Abomination. Mana. Abominations are the apex of Rak'Gol hierarchy, rare, grotesquely unique, and bearing arcane augmentations that hint at a connection to the ancient Yuvoth technology. Again, with this Yuvoth technology, so I wonder if there is some kind of a connection there, like what the notes were mentioning earlier. These
Yeah.
abominations are thought.
Maybe just some quick context on that. Like the Rak'Gul come from the Fantasy Flight game RPGs primarily. A lot of their information and stuff. So with them, the Yuvoth were kind of in that. So that setting was set in like the Chronos Expanse, and they tried to kind of keep it limited to there. So that's why you kind of see these kind of similar tie-ins, you know.
Yeah, they do their own Rak'Gul Abominamenon thing.
Phenomena. Let's see. These abominations are thought to be the architects of Rak'Gul raids, spreading their broods across the Coronis expanse according to a dark hidden logic. If their plans are part of a larger scheme, the consequences of nearby systems could be catastrophic. Though little is known of their goals, their mere existence hints at a disturbing level of intelligence behind the Rak'Gul's brutal exterior, one that may be playing a much longer game than the Imperium realizes. Spooky.
Yeah, that's horrifying. I hate that. It's kind of sad that they're smart and savage. They're
clever, man.
Like, I feel like I'd be holding a Spaz 12, and then I track them, and then suddenly it'd appear next to me, and then kill me.
Yeah. It does a stupid like lizard tongue lick though first in your ear before.
Yeah. And my cool hat that does like the when they
Yeah.
the Australian hat.
Crikey. We got renderers, which are massive brutes, so we get even bigger. I believe these ones are getting to be like really big. It's hard to lock down like a specific size, but these guys could be the size of like battle tanks or like knights. Like it could get wild. Some of their implants seem non-functional, and they may serve as like just like armor or like a symbol of respect or something. Symbols of transformation. Like they're almost like revered, but yeah. And then the final kind of cast, we're going up and up in ranking. So the final and the highest cast is the Techno Shamans, as we mentioned. And they are the rare psychic leaders found among the Rak'Gul. So some believe they can even... just trying to summarize this. Yeah, really, they're just psychers, man. They're just old psychers. They have a bunch of implants, too. The thing about the Rak'Gul is they just want to hunt and kill. And now they got psychic powers to do it. They got a couple cool psychic powers. Maybe let's all pick one and read one.
I will read... I like to distort things, so I'm going to pick the distortion function, or the distort function. That was the segue. After a Rak'Gul attack, vessels are seldom in adequate condition for repair. Rather, the ships are often scrapped and various components used for salvage. Rumors circulate that the Machine spirit in some of the salvaged components have begun to share stories of the Rak'Gul. Only explorers who have interacted with the damaged vessel devices know the truth of the matter. But the stories state that the Rak'Gul psychers can combine seemingly mundane devices into deadly killing machines.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
They also have Open the Mind's Eye, which the Rak'Gul are known to be horrific, but their Techno Shamans display abilities go beyond mundane fears. Rather than attempting to overcome foes with finesse and delicacy, not deliciousness, but like gentleness, they often use brute terror, unleashing the raw fury of the warp to rend their opponent's mind. So that goes back to kind of Purge's question there. They do definitely use warp powers to fuck with people for sure.
All right. And I was going to pick Flay Reality because that sounds pretty interesting, but then I figured, no, we got a bunch of Conrad Curtis fanboys in here. Screw that. I'm going to talk about Telekinetic Sledge because this is also a hammer. The Rak'Gol are a species that know little of subtlety. Their combat actions are generally every bit as direct as they are savage. At least some of their confirmed psychic abilities reflect this. Techno shamans are reported to savagely beat their foes with raw bursts of telekinetic force. The blast invisible, except for the waves of gore they carry. So think about double nerd in here, as Court likes to mention. The Force Unleashed when you upgrade your Force push ability, and it's just whoosh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or we could
Telekinetic
triple nerd and talk about Skyrim and save Usrada. Yeah, there we go. See, there we go.
Great.
These guys are
Yeah.
great, man. They just do things and they crawl around on their legs and on the ceilings. And
we like that.
And we like that. We're big fans. Also, I like the fact that they do kind of what the orcs do, where bigger man mean bigger power. Like
Sure,
the renders, you'd expect a render to be like, a support unit rather than a leading unit,
Yeah.
but not for them.
Not for
Because you
them.
always got answer to the biggest, and the baddest.
Quick other couple powers they have is reap the flesh. Let your just imagination wander with these. Reweave. Seize the machine. We got a couple like technologically themed ones, which is pretty cool. You can go on like Let's Canon Wikipedia, or if you have access to any of those Fantasy Flight game books, which are fucking tight, you can find the rest of their powers and all these different kind of cool abilities and maybe how they play out. There's a lot of them.
Hell yeah.
Glorious. Lupercal has a wah in the chat.
Not all
Wah!
of those episodes, but I'll give you a wah.
We brought up the orcs, so
Yeah. To be fair, we brought up the orcs.
Yeah.
and you do have to hive mind a little bit when somebody says wah. We all have to say wah.
This
Rock
is
and
true.
stone. We all have to rock and
It's like,
stone.
yeah, rock and
Yeah,
stone,
yeah,
rock and stone.
Yeah.
Stone and
Foreshadowing the next orc episode that we cover, I was requested to do something very special, so hope you
He's
listeners are
coming
ready
on
for that whenever we
completely
do it.
naked.
and green.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so one up Grimaldus's costume that he had there.
He's coming on in green face. Send it to his college.
Oh man. But no, I don't even have a segue for it. We're going to talk about their technology, and I'm going to lead this off with a quote by one Magos Trosk, weaponsmith of Levine Row.
Effective but poorly optimized. Ammunition is expended too quickly for effective use in an extended firefight. Unmodified humans are incapable of carrying sufficient ammunition for maximal utility.
By Imperium reckoning, Rak'Gol technology is a savage mockery of craft, crude, unwieldy, and drenched in alien malice, just like the orcs. Their augmetics are grotesque, far from the cold precision of human design, melding living tissue with jagged metal twisted blasphemies. They have clawed their way to the stars in hulks of bone and scrap, void ships crawling through the black. Though devoid of true psychers, these abominations rip through the immaterium by unknown, maddening means, secrets the Inquisition's darkest ordos and desperate rogue traders would bleed to unravel. Their weapons are instruments of visceral carnage, cruel monoblades, hooked spears, jagged barbs, each a testament to slaughter. Simple projectile arms hurl oversized rounds or wicked razor shells that tear flesh and shred bone with savage efficiency. This is screaming very much like Drukhari right here, with all the spiky bits and the BDSM fetish.
You're being very
toys.
sexual right now. Get your mind out of the gutter, Gerald. I can't believe that you
You're
would do that. I can't believe
You're the
that
one that
that-
you are the one that put me in there, sir.
I got you in a mood. Aw.
You got me in a mood, and I am just matching your energy, baby.
Bye.
Rak'Gol show no reverence for their gear, abandoning weapons, armor, and corpses alike after every raid, a trail of brutal waste. Survivors of their assaults find shards of alien tech amidst the ruins, grim trophies for Adeptus Mechanicus analysis. When their ships are torn apart, the wreckage yields more twisted devices, fragments of a brutal culture far better understood through its tools of death than through any whisper of history. Xenographers and explorators have pieced together fragments of this horror. The Rak'Gol crawl from a pitiful technological pit, dwarfed by humanity's splendor. Their weapons and engines relics of a primitive age. Their voidcraft throttle on unstable fission pulse drives, churning deadly radiation, sluggish and ungainly compared to Imperial plasma thrusts. Energy weapons are rare, massive beams of atomic destruction, spinal ridges tearing along hulls like a cancerous growth wielded only by the strongest abominations. Projectile arms dominate, echoing human ballistics only in their crude lethality, spitting barbed shells that explode into shards of death inside living tissues. Cybernetic corruption is the mark of Rak'Gol combatants, bloated, crude, and fused violently to living flesh. Nearly every warrior bears horrific implants, jagged ceramic plates grafted to hide, cyber limbs twisted from bone and wire, weapons grown from muscle and machine. These brutal grafts resist ruin long after the host perished, some haunting the battlefield as undead engines of slaughter, whether forged by the Rak'Gol themselves, scavenged from fallen kin, or relics of a forgotten era of alien sophistication remains unknown. Some display enough cunning to wield these grafts with lethal precision, while others carry implants whose purpose is a maddening mystery, strange devices that defy understanding, tainting minds and warping flesh. Initial probes into these implants found them silent, inert, until human test subjects began to die. Those few who survived the horrific biomechanical interface suffered rapid mental collapse, minds shredded by alien poison. Subjects with psychic potential burned away screaming, their agony a twisted echo of warped terror. Magos Corda's experiments ended in ruin, his findings sold to shadowy agents of the Order Xenos, a grim warning from the edge of sanity. A fragment of Rak'Gol tech a fragment of Rak'Gol tech bears the eerie signature of the Uvoth, a crystalline bone structures and cursed symbols hinting at a dark alliance. The abominable caste known as the Abominations, Abomina, clings fiercely to these relics, adorning themselves into desecrated silver runes of the dead chaos worshippers. Their allegiances to the Imperium's malignant forces is whispered in fear, tangled in obsession for Uvoth relics they will murder and desecrate to claim. The Rak'Gol are not mere savages, they are vessels of something alien, horrific, and utterly void of mercy, driven by hunger for destruction and the haunted remnants of a blasphemous heritage.
Fucking cool.
I have a new theory, but I'll bring it up later if you guys want. That they intrigue me now.
Okay.
These silly little lizard people
Okay. Well,
with
let's
their
write that down so we don't
lizard
forget.
legs. Yeah, hold on.
What do you want to? You want to tell your theory now, or definitely wait, or what?
I mean, let me get more information before I spill my beans.
Okay, I wrote it at the end of the note.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, their technology is interesting because it's such a wide array of technology. Because it's that combination of salvaged and their own silly creations, and like, so you get this all manner of bizarre, exotic, like foreign to us, tech.
Yeah, and it just works for them.
Yeah. And they don't care that it turns out deadly radiation. They like it. Low radiation never hurt anybody.
Low radiation, it tickles.
Yeah.
10 tickles.
We mentioned their bionics ever so briefly in that last little bit, but I think we'll go deeper into them to see what they're really about. Because this is like their core gimmick is their bionics. And I know every race has their own form of bionics, but just the way the Rak'Gol do it, it's different. Because it like I said, it's not just replacing your arm with a lookalike bionic arm. It's a different fucking function.
This is giving me vibes similar to The Surge, which is a game, for anyone that knows, it's basically like if Dark Souls was sci-fi, because then you're basically finding upgrades and you're just grafting yourself onto like some kind of like onto like patchwork mech suit and everything. And then it also gives me vibes of what was that movie? Videodrome. Tons of like mechanical body horror where it's just like you are literally grafted into like wires and
Yeah.
machine and computer parts that go places that really shouldn't belong there.
Yeah.
But it's horrifying.
Yeah. I said earlier that it was that's a good way to say it, that body horror. I didn't have that word in my mind. That's it, man. The body
That is a really
horror.
good word, body horror.
Yeah. Like, ugh, what have you done? What have you done? Yeah, so let's get into them. The Rak'Gol bear a brutal obsession with crude bionics, grotesque fusions of flesh and metal forged in alien savagery. Their technology, primitive by Imperial standards, is a blight upon the very concept of machinery, lacking any elegance or mercy. Yet these xenos abominations graft jagged implants into sinew and bone with brutal efficiency. Save for the unblooded, every Rak'Gol is scarred by cold alien steel, ceramic plates embedded deep within their already toughened hides, turning living flesh into monstrous armor. When a Rak'Gol steps into battle, their clutch master marks them with the horrific mechanical gifts, prosthetics and cybernetic abominations that twist their bodies into remorseless engines for slaughter. Survivors become more machine than beast, hulking war horrors of bone, wire, and endless rage. The broodmasters wear their bionic grafts as trophies, arsenals of flesh fused to unholy metal. Above them, the rare abominations bear these implants to monstrous extremes, their bodies wrapped by terrible devices resembling the cursed remnants of the dead Yuvos xenos. Twisted echoes of a forgotten nightmare. Rak'Gol shamans delve into forbidden tomes, scavenging the blasphemous technology of extinct empires, embedding their bodies with these horrific relics. Imperial scholars stand aghast and clueless at the obsession. Many deny these abominations even exist, dismissing whispers of Yuvoth's curses and alien horrors. Yet these implants corrupt the bearers, granting unnatural psychic-like powers, a perversion of life itself, twisting Rak'Gol into something alien, unknowable, and utterly merciless. Yeah.
Oh, they just find shit and put it on.
Yeah,
It's like
man, and like,
oh,
yeah, there's no like Rak'Gol technology supremacy. They find a cool relic and they're gonna try to graft it to themselves.
does it even have to be a weapon? Like, could it just be like they found some dude's prosthetic arm from the year 2011 and they went, ooh,
Ooh,
like neuron activation, like squeeze a coffee cup.
Yeah. This is my coffee pot arm. I love it. No, I think they typically lean towards more like machete arm. No, jagged machete arm, but yeah. Weapons.
Yeah. All right. It's good to know that they lean towards something. But we do know that they don't lean towards ranged weapons. Do you want me to just summarize this stuff real quick?
Yeah, you just can give us a little once over on what these guns might be like.
So Rak'Gol tend to disdain ranged weapons, or have a certain disdain for ranged weapons. They clearly prefer melee. So we do have several instances of Rak'Gol ranged weaponry, such as the razor gun, which is the most common of these ranged weapons. They have chemical propellants and hurl barbed slugs towards their targets.
Yeah, just kind of your standard slug thrower, like, we have guns that operate like this.
Yeah. What the Germans thought the American shotguns were. Bunch of nerds, if you ask me. The Howler rifle, 2-time winners, state champs. The Howler rifles are easily identified by the large packs of ammunition that they must wear. Obviously strapped to their torso because that looks the coolest.
And it's like that, like almost like Predator callback Rambo, like strapping this like bullets to your chest.
Like bandoliers.
Yes.
Yeah, and they fire ceramic-like material, which is from highly volatile propellants. They are tri-barreled, and they spit out thousands of rounds per minute.
Fucking cool.
Yeah, they just have miniguns. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, do you think it makes the A10 noise?
What is that
Hmm.
sound?
The
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's nice that you know for a fact I can make it with my mouth. I appreciate that.
He's a talented man with his mouth.
Men love my mouth.
Men
Anyways,
love it.
Women hate it. I just make noise.
Oh man.
The rad beam cannon, it's very self-explanatory. It shoots rad beams, beams of radness.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
kidding. It's radiation. Get cancer.
Not cool. Not cool of them at all.
No, it's a cancer gun. They shoot you with cancer. Only
Or they
abomination.
carve your planet with it.
Yeah, or they make a penis.
Yeah, yeah.
Cloaca, rather.
Hey, sometimes I might graffiti you with it. So
Yeah. They don't let a Rak'Gol catch you sleeping, or else you get AIDS and cancer and all of the illnesses because they're awful, and we love them for it.
The best tattoo parlor on this side of the Cicatrix smelly dictum is just getting rad tattooed by one of these guys.
And they tattoo rad in radiation on your back.
Yeah.
And then it bubbles
Now
in
we're
the-
talking cool again. Yeah.
Yeah. The coolest guys this side of the Mississippi. And as we know, the Earth is a sphere, so it wraps around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Well, you know what else is too cool for school? Their melee weapons, man. Because they love the melee weapons, unlike their ranged weapons.
Yeah. Their first one is
You want me to-
particularly funny. I like it.
Do you want me to just kind of bullet point each of these two, or
Yeah,
just
yeah.
read
Give
them
us
off?
the short
Right.
read of them.
All right, I'll read this first part here. Many Rak'Gol chose to employ Many Rak'Gol choose to employ only their natural claws and massive teeth as their weapons of choice in close combat. Others use a vicious collection of implanted monoblades and armored razor-edge gauntlets designed to rend and tear flesh with maximum carnage. The following are known melee weapons employed by the Rak'Gol. And the first one that Mark just mentioned is the Rak'Gol Rad Axe. So not only do you get a rad gun, but you get an axe that also radiates you. So for all those World fans that like your chain axes, get yourself a rad axe so you can radiate the blood for the blood god.
Yeah, I'm just like, are you swinging it wildly, just radiating everything? Do you just go around like tapping people like with a pool noodle? Haha, you're dead in 10 years.
Yeah! Have fun with that, bastard! Yeah! And it's not skin cancer either. It goes. Yeah, it's highly untreatable, and it's typically brain cancer, and they're really assholes about it. Sometimes they give you testicular cancer.
Ooh.
They're just dickheads. Like
Oof.
You hate to see it.
I hate to see it. I hate to feel it.
Yeah.
Grimaldus has a request. How does the axe sound?
It kind of goes because it's got like a uranium.
Ah,
yeah.
Of course.
Oh wait,
uranium shaft on the old thing, and yeah.
Okay, I was wrong, but it should just be one big stick of uranium that they bend and sharpen, but it's not apparently, and that's kind of fucking lame. I had a better idea for this axe.
Yeah. Go with Boba Jack on this one.
Okay, so I guess the noise it does make is that's the
crackle.
Yeah, because you gotta get the crackle.
Oh man,
because it's a pretty rad axe. This shit's rad axe.
Fucking tight.
Yeah, it's like a dude. It's Darth Vader riding a skateboard that's on fire with a T-Rex in the back, and then an F-15 flying in or something.
I mean, you basically just described dubstep right there. So
yeah. Also, I like how you made a bird noise for the F-15. Did you know that it's nicknamed the Eagle, or was that just unrelated?
You know, in Canada, we just have birds for airplanes, so it's just going with what
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And you guys don't have a navy.
No, we have moose, though. Thank God.
Moose.
No, we only got one now. There's been some budget cuts up in Canada.
Wait, so what do the Mounties ride now?
Each other, because they're fucking gay.
Oh.
Zing! Roasted. Back to the show. Yo, what other weapons they have besides the keen whip of a tongue?
They have monoblades, which are just Mono blades grafted to your
Mono.
forearm, very Eldar-esque. They also have
One
chain
blade.
blade, which one blade. They also have chain blades, which also implanted into their warriors, and it's very similar to mono blade, and it's a chain weapon. Come on. This is Warhammer. There is never not a chain weapon of some kind.
Yeah.
And then we have the Intimidator. Let's see. Only a few of these handheld devices have been recovered, but no eyewitnesses report indicate their use in combat. Very mysterious. They know that abominations carry them, and they may be an indicator of status, but that is all that is known. Oh, and they think it might be used as a torture device. Make of that what you will.
It's
I
for
will.
sex.
Clearly, it's for sex.
Right, Gerald? Right? Because you're in that mood, right?
No comment.
That's a yes.
Yeah.
We'll jump to the Rak'Gol vessels, see if these turn on old Gerald there. The origin. I gotta find a
Oh my
ship of
God.
them. But the origins of the Rak'Gol's warp travel remain shrouded in alien mystery. Whether scavengers of derelict starships abandoned by doomed races, or remnants of a once advanced species spiraling towards extinction, their vessels embody this enigma. Twisted, scarred hulks of patchwork metal and bone stitched together in brutal improvisation. At their core, a cylindric mass powered by a jagged fission reactor thrums with deadly radiation, unshielded and raw. Jagged extensions claw forward and back like fractured limbs. Ragged fins sprout like broken insect wings. The hulls are defiled with crude ritualistic sigils, randomly bolted armored plates, and clusters of grotesque defensive spines. Their engines blaze like toxic stars on aspect scans, a beacon of death to all who dare approach. The fission pulse drives irradiate their crews with searing fury, unseen torment that would kill any lesser being. For their victims, this unshielded poison is a cruel blessing, an unmistakable signal to flee or perish. Ships caught by the Rak'Gol are left as charred, irradiated tombs, salvaged, stripped bare, crews either vanished or mutilated beyond recognition. Their remains warped by radiated scars that will haunt wreckage for centuries. Whispers tell of abominable Rak'Gol boarding parties, dragging prisoners into the glow of death, their fates unknown beneath the radiation's unrelenting assault. No vessel has been examined closely enough to reveal their cruel intentions. Larger Rak'Gol ships wield massive atomic beam weapons, spinal death rays that spit the void, often escorted by swarms of smaller raiders. Any lone Imperial ship caught in such a storm is doomed to carnage. Their warcraft are grotesque and alien, layered with jagged plating and horned spines. Their weapons are brutal extensions of their savage nature in close-range, rapid-fire macro cannons that tear into enemies with relentless fury. Larger vessels rarely carry devastating spine beams, glowing streak weapons of atomic core. So they definitely do have some kind of crazier weapons, and who knows if they engineered these like atomic spine beam weapons, or they got a couple cool ones that aren't slugs. Yeah, they could have just found it and grafted on. I was reading and I just wanted to just go show a picture of their ship. So I'm gonna.
Yeah,
do that.
I sent you two. I don't know if you saw them.
Yeah, they're fucking.
I got an Imperial comparison one too in there.
Yeah, here we go. So if you're on the Patreon, you can see I have now pulled up what their ships look like, and yeah, it's cool. They got like this layered, jagged, like massive kind of scale to them.
It's duck build.
Duck build.
Kind of makes me think of like one of those Romulan mining ships from like the newer Star Trek, with the 2009 Star Trek movie, I should say.
Okay. Sure. I can see a little bit of that. Yeah. They're
Little
cool
bit,
though.
little
And they're big, and like what's crazy about them, you get anywhere close to them, chances are, you're just dying from rad poisoning.
Guess
That's
what?
just the way she goes.
Cancer.
Guess what? Oh, behind door number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10. Cancer.
Stage 10 too. You're dead in a week.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Thanks for playing.
It's in your kidneys and everywhere else.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they just yeah.
They show up, they give you cancer, they leave.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they
Just
stay
refuse
around
to
your planet.
collaborate.
They might kidnap you and mutilate your corpse.
Yeah. Give it more cancer.
Yeah.
Can you give a dead body cancer?
No, because I think cancer cells have to be living technically.
No, because I know one of the first people who got a cancer biopsy, they still have her cells like alive. So
Okay,
I don't know.
I didn't even go to school to be an electrician, so I don't know fucking much about
You're not
all.
a cancerologist?
No, I did not do my
That's
cancerology.
what they're called,
My
by the way.
7-year. Yeah. So I didn't even know that that's what they were called.
Yeah, they're called cancerologists.
Yeah. I'll get one on.
Yeah. But speaking of classes, let's talk about Rak'Gol starship classes. All Rak'Gol vessels are unique, but many are similar enough in size and shape that they can be given a single broad classification. The Rak'Gol Marauder. These ships are believed to have between 20,000 to 30,000 Rak'Gol lizardmen aboard. Marauders are given the name. Marauders are the name given to the most common of Rak'Gol ships, sharing the name with the Rak'Gol warrior caste. Given that no two are exactly alike, they are similar enough in size and performance to be grouped together into a broad classification. All Marauders seem to be haphazardly constructed with little regard for layout or true comfort. They are all generally brutal void craft that are overgunned and have impressive amounts of speed thanks to their fission pulse drives. However, though they are quite fast, they are slow to maneuver, and savvy captains have been known to exploit this weakness in order to win the day. Winning the day means leaving, by the way.
Yeah.
Like
winning the day is not getting cancer.
Yeah, not getting cancer. Common winning the day W.
Yes. That's just like 2020 vibes. Yes. 2020 didn't get cancer.
Didn't get
2025.
cancer.
Fuck yeah, life's good.
Really close though. Like really, like I was breathing in carcinogens like all day.
Yeah. But not today.
Yeah, tomorrow though, maybe. The Butcher class is very rarely found alone. It is used on rare occasions when the wreck will attack planetary targets. While capable of assisting in combat, these starships are relatively poorly armed, uncommon for the Rak'Gol, and lightly armored. Their slow speed and lack of maneuverability exacerbates the issue. In combat, they prefer to stand off from the main fight and inundate their opposition with swarms of small voidcraft and boarding torpedoes. Once opposition is eliminated, they enter low orbit over a target world and mercilessly pound targets with warhead swarms while launching waves of assault craft.
What's so crazy about their battle tactic is they're launching nukes down at the planet, essentially these rad weapons and whatever else kind of end of the world type weapons, but the Rak'Gol are still down there assaulting them too while they're doing it. They don't care. They're here to rage war.
Also, if you think about it too, they're irradiating the entire atmosphere just by being in the orbit alone. They don't even need to use the nukes. They have no need to use anything other than their own engines to give us all cancer and die. And
Perfect.
They still do. They still go above and beyond, and that's the real work effort that we need today.
Yeah, that's passion. That's dedication.
They're
really are the cats of 40K.
They really, you're right. They are the cats of 40K. They knock your glass off the counter, and then they jump down onto it, so that way you have to pay a $50,000 medical bill.
And then they shit on it. And then
they
the shit
on it.
is radioactive.
Yeah. I'm really loving these guys and their lizard-like personalities. Their cold, gruff exterior into their warm-blooded hearts. And also their cancer that they give me. But it's love.
Love cancer.
Love cancer. It's in the heart. And it's stage 4.
No more chips, Gerald. Take me away from Bobby Jack.
Oh my goodness. Well, what's a good way to take you away from him? To maul him like a mauler from
That was the best one of the night. That was the best one of the night. Gerald always wins.
That's a that's like an Imperial victory. You're still losing like 2 million casualties at the end of the day.
I'll take it.
Like
A win
chump
is
change.
a win.
Chump change. I sacrificed 21 squadrons or 21 regiments, and I will do it again. America.
My question is, how many of those regiments got cancer? Not as many that didn't. That's a win.
Yay, cancer!
Oh man, Eldar will sacrifice all humans to save one Eldar. Imperium will sacrifice all humans to kill one Eldar. We are not the same.
We are Giga Chads. I hope we all get cancer.
Oh man, back to maulers because I think I'd rather be mauled than get. Anyways.
Yeah.
Less common than other Rak'Gol escort craft, the Mauler class frigates are still far more commonly seen than any lone explorer or trader would like. The vessels vary, often dramatically, in their precise secondary armaments, defenses, and appearance. They are, however, distinguished by their primary weapon, clusters of torpedo tubes. These tubes are almost always loaded with boarding torpedoes, offering another method for the vicious Rak'Gol to enter into direct melee with their prey. I like to imagine they are just stuffing themselves in these torpedo tubes just to be yeeted throughout the void onto these ships.
I like to think that they use their arms to like pry themselves out rather than like marching out. They all their limbs just whoop.
The door repairs are astronomical in cost because that's how they open all doors. They just rip them open and crawl through them like that.
Yeah, and then they go and then they cancer beam, cancer axe.
Cancer axe.
Like you don't even die.
Here's cancer.
Yeah,
Here's cancer.
Cancer. That's why we see a lot of survivors. They think cancer spreads like an illness. They're just not aware of it yet.
Yeah.
Like other smaller Rak'Gol warships, Maulers generally travel without the support of other vessels. In these cases, the vessels begin firing salvo after salvo of torpedoes towards their victims the instant that they enter range. Maulers then continue to close to bring the Howler cannons into play. In the rarer cases where a Mauler is part of a mixed squadron, they generally hang back, firing continuous salvos of torpedoes, while vessels with shorter range weapons close. So they're just firing their own people out. They're just ready to just
the torp tubes.
But where you have a Mauler, you also have a Mangler. Mangler vessels are full-size Rak'Gol warships. These mercifully rare starships are generally found accompanied by at least 1 to 3 butchers or maulers. In a few rare instances, the Manglers have led large squadrons. The examples that have been identified share a common core design and armament, but vary significantly in their architecture. This may be due to extensive repairs or may indicate that they were designed by different artisans. Thus far, only Manglers are large enough to mount Rak'Gol lance weapons. These warships, especially when accompanied by a support squadron, are fully capable of launching a planetary assault against smaller colonies. In addition, the wings of assault craft, in concert with their beam weapons, can be an absolutely devastating combination against any but the largest of vessels.
Yeah, not as cool as a torpedo tube. And a little
the torp tube.
Yeah.
Peekaboo, cancer time.
Yeah. Like that technique a lot better.
Yeah. Do you guys remember how the bugs moved in the first Starship Troopers movies?
Oh yes. Yeah.
I feel like that's how these guys move around. They like
really herky jerky and like quick
Yeah.
forward and like yeah.
Like I feel like they just kind of they spider up on you.
I fucking hate when things spider up on me. God damn.
Listen, man, that's the good thing about English is everything is a verb and adjective and adverb and noun and whatever you need it to be, it is.
Yeah. Language is fluid nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't like spiders.
All right, we'll talk about some weapons and stuff found. We've mentioned a couple of them, like the Howler Cannon, which is that, like, they have Howler Cannons for infantry, but this is like the upscaled infantry to ship class. So, before it's that tri-barreled, now it's like 18-barreled. It just shoots out 1 billion shots a minute. We got the roarer beam. And they fire rad beams, so that's what they're typically using is roarer beams, which is rad weapons. Then we got clanger torpedo tubes. And they're always loaded with boarding torpedoes. That's what we want. That's what we need. Because even with those boarding torpedoes, you zip past and you miss their ship, and you'd still pass by and create a nice little streak of radiation. So that's nice. Someone's gonna fly through that and get cancer.
Yeah, and they won't even know it. They'll just be like, fuck.
Yeah. Fuck. It might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but
you'll get it later.
That. Yeah. And they also got Raider landing bays. This is a weapon because they're just swarming those things, and everyone's like, okay, everyone get off the ship and onto their ship. That's like the goal, like mass exodus of bodies from one ship to the next.
They'll squish you.
They'll get you. And then they'll climb around on the inside of your ship. You better look out on those gantries. They're climbing around on the tops, on the bottoms. Fuck me.
Knowing these guys, I bet they fucking land their ships so that way the door hits somebody on the way down. Like, there's no way they don't.
No, wrong. That's not how Rak'Gol doors open.
Oh, you're right. They open wrong. You're right.
Yeah, bold of you to assume the Rak'Gols have doors. They just rip a hole in the wall, and that's the door.
That
makes a lot of sense. I just want to say, by the way, in Biden's America, we were more roarer cannons, if you want, or rara beams, and in Trump's America, we were at clanger torpedoes. All right, this is. That's it.
Oh boy.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Listen,
their weapons are fun. It's just a fun way to go with them. The nice thing about a cancer beam is even if you miss, you still hit them. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, like there's no way they don't leave with cancer.
Yeah.
And even if you don't hit them, it's in the air. Like no matter what, cancer.
It's in your balls.
No.
Oh no.
Oh,
good thing they don't have a testicular torsion gun.
Oh fuck! I would hate that. I don't know what.
Do you think they have a skinny arm specifically for that?
For ripping off your testicles?
No. So testicular torsion is when your balls get wrapped around one another and like the cords get like tied together. So do you think they just have like a little arm that goes whoop and like just knots your balls?
Yes, I've put a lot of thought into this over the years of my hobby time in Warhammer. I put a lot of thought into the Rak'Gol,
the ball twisters.
Ball twister, yeah.
Yeah, they call it the twisterino.
No, they call it the.
Oh well, yeah, but like what we call it is the twisterino. Yeah. I don't speak that filthy lizard tongue.
Yeah.
Make sure the Drukari don't find it.
Oh god, yeah. They definitely have a testicular torsion device.
There's no way they don't. It's probably a delicacy. Rip them off, eat them.
Balls? Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, balls are they're called oysters, right? Like people eat oysters all the time. Rocky Mountain oysters. Balls are already a delicacy. Yeah, we live in a society.
We live. Not me, man. I moved out to the island. I'm like, fuck all.
There's no way Panamanians aren't eating monkey balls.
No, I'm sure they are, but maybe that's one island over though. I try to isolate, Oh,
that's fair.
Gerald, I love watching Gerald's face, just like the regret and like the face palm and like the.
See, I know it's a good one though when he actually giggles. Most of the time, he just sighs defeatedly. But I know I do a good one when he's giggling and he gets all red like that.
Yeah.
For the people who aren't listening or who aren't watching, he's red.
It's worth the $2.50 to see it. It's nice.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's
And for
delightful.
$5, you can even try to make him do it. You can call in and
Yeah,
try to make him
you can show your own testicular torsion machine.
I'd rather no.
Oh, man. That's so funny. Tell us about other components or machines. That
Yeah, of course. On the topic of testicular torsion machines, let's talk about other components. The components that go into Rak'Gol vessels tend to be better than our shit for no reason. It's very hurtful. Oh no, sorry, inferior. Never mind, we're better. Another common human W, but nonetheless brutally effective.
Win.
Human lives matter. And
Dub.
they do have fusion drives or fusion plasma drives.
That is kind of cool. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
fucking science very much, but I believe that's like unlimited energy drive, essentially.
Yeah, I mean they have like a star doing star things inside of their engine, and then, but it's liquid because plasma is a liquid, and I guess the liquid comes together
and it pulses.
Yeah, probably, and it takes 20W75 oil.
That's the good stuff. That's
that's in here too.
yeah, that's in the notes. Yeah. They also do have warp drives, which is pretty cool. Who knows where they're getting all this tech, but they got it.
They found it at Duffy's.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Or sorry, that was Denny's. They found it at Denny's.
This is very different
I thought
vibe.
Buc-ee's was having a sale.
Yeah, they go to the bathroom, they go next to the glory hole, and then that's where it all is.
Of course, you had to break.
Every Denny's has a glory hole. It's
Every
the Denny's. It's the Denny's
Denny's.
common.
It has a good one.
I've never been in a Denny's bathroom that didn't have a glory hole. Anyway, they do have life-sustaining systems and crew quarters. Although they seem to be able to breathe oxygen, the atmospheres aboard their ships are thick and choked with noxious chemicals. Radiation, obviously, because of the cancer.
Yeah. Like the first bionic that every Rak'Gol gets is like a dialysis machine. Like, here you go, buddy. Here's your first fucking bionic.
The next one is one of those machines that do the blood sugar check for diabetes.
Yeah. Third one, IV drip naturally.
Yeah.
Fused onto you somewhere. You don't have to carry it no more.
Some of the poorer Rak'Gols have to do the prick still.
Those fucking clutch.
If you have a diabetes rat poison, call your nearest local Rak'Gol and get your diabetes rat poison testing supplies.
Diabetes, rat poison, and liver failure. Kidney also failure.
What every good Rak'Gol needs.
They've got 28 kidneys, 2 testicles for torsion.
Yep, all canon, all true.
All canon. I would never lie to any of you.
Nope.
Except Lupercal, I'd lie to him.
He tells you to stop making glory holes at Denny's.
I bought the borer for a reason. I'm gonna use it.
You're gonna get your money's worth
twice, okay? For regular stuff, I have to use it for something else. And if it's making glory holes at Denny's, that's where they belong.
Yeah. I personally think you're doing a public service.
I am. And sometimes maybe I take the middle stall and I put a glory hole at both ends. You know, maybe somebody needs pleasure at both ends. Who knows? All right, let's not be rude.
We're inclusive here.
Yeah.
I just love when you find out what somebody's passionate about, you know. Some people collect teeth. Some people are just super passionate about drilling glory holes. And
and stealing.
Yeah, I like to steal for sure.
I love crime. Big fan of crime. Go crime. Big crime.
Go crime. Big fan. Listen, I love it. I wish I could do more of it.
Is Gerald rolling on the floor?
Yeah, Grim
says he's literally awful.
Yeah, we broke the poor guy.
See, he's slapping.
Moby Jack is the new
that was
for
a
the
pep
last
talk.
time. No,
I like. You all right, Gerald?
Okay, I'm good.
He's retreating further and further away. I love it.
He left at one point, and then he came back, and yeah, that was his own fault though. He shouldn't have come back. He should have ran.
Should have been, yeah. Yeah, you're just playing back all the scenes in your mind. You may be wondering how he got here. Then montage Gerald's all started with one fateful text.
And then you see the very first episode where I co-star with Bobby Jack.
Oh,
And then it pauses, and this is new, and this is where Gerald knew he done fucked up.
If it makes you feel better, Jordan had to suffer me first.
Yeah, I did like that. I like making Jordan giggle. He's got a good giggle.
He does have a good. Can we get Jordan on just random episodes?
Okay. Yeah. What do you? You don't unleash Bobby Jack on somebody, you know. So you're not unleashing, but you definitely do something with a Bobby Jack to somebody else.
Yeah,
sure.
you drop me off in the middle of the woods, and you hunt me for sport. That's what you do with a Bobby Jack.
That's what we do with Bobby Jacks. All right, Gerald. Speaking of hunting things for sport, tell us about the Rak'Gol's galactic relations.
Okay. We got ourselves another fun little quote here. Okay. It is fortunate that the Rak'Gol remain isolated. Hold on. That was awful. Let me try that again. Rewind.
No, he's an inquisitor. That's a good one. That's good for an inquisitor.
Okay. All right. We're going to stick with the... We're going to stick with the Aussie big knife theme going on here. Hold on.
Oh, he got a knife for his
Trying
defense.
to get into character.
It is fortunate that the Rak'Gol remain isolated. They are xenos who worship dark gods and slay servants of the Imperium. Inquisitors might come to blows over who could destroy them. Quote, Inquisitor Ma.
I fucking hated that, man. I feel like you were scolding me or something.
Yeah, like it was like you were gonna hit me with it, but not with the sharp end, but with the blunt end to like.
Yeah. Like you're just gonna humiliate me with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Inquisitor Mar.
Big ups, Inquisitor Mar. Special thanks. He's getting a $2 bill.
Yeah, we
Steve
got
Irwin, Inquisitor. Yeah.
Inquisitor Steve Irwin.
Yeah. Look at this proto-lit I found. I'm gonna jump on him.
I'm gonna stick my thumb up its ass.
Let's see how much I can piss him off. Yeah.
Classic.
This is an orc. He's the most aggressive species in the entire galaxy. I'm gonna make him mad and go, whoa! Whoa!
Whoa!
The Rak'Gol do not engage with other species; they annihilate them. Well, that's a good difference there. Their form of interaction, quote, is a brutal calculus of dismemberment, radiation, and consumption, and not always in that order. Where others parlay or trade, the Rak'Gol descend into screaming droves, tearing apart hulls and bodies with equal disregard. I don't know. I'm having like a mental image of just like like one of Bob Jack's screaming sound effects here.
Yeah.
Oh. It's worse when he takes off his shirt and makes that sound. Like it's very
when I do it there, I have to rub my nipples because then it it elevates it,
amplifies it all for sure. It increases the frequency of some. I'm like I said, I'm not a scientist. I don't know how it does it, but it does.
It does. You pull them and they're.
Grimaldus, no, don't do that to him. No.
Grimaldus,
Grimaldus, don't do that to him for his first call-in. No.
Yeah. Well, I just dropped the link for call-ins if anyone wants to. Yeah, Osmond's getting nominated.
Yeah, Osmond, if you are here, you're coming in first.
Oh no, you poor.
Come into the cancer room with us. Come on.
Come into the cancer.
I will pray to the God Emperor. Fulgrim Jack doesn't take you. To the Rak'Gol, alien life exists only as prey, raw material for slaughter or salvage. Khorne is making a killing with these guys. They do not communicate, negotiate, or heed warning. Imperial envoys sent to observe or intercept have never returned whole, if at all. Reports from survivors speak of guttural howls, mechanical screeches, and grotesque rituals performed over mangled corpses. To encounter the Rak'Gol is not to meet another civilization, but to witness the galaxy's most primal urge to kill. strip and devour without reason or remorse.
It's like a metal song. Yeah, nice. I like
Dude,
it.
that was rad. That was rad as fuck.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
All right. Contact with other species. When the Rak'Gol clash with another sentient race, only one remains. The rest are utterly annihilated. No exceptions stain the expanses. No exceptions stain the expanses. Come on, wow. No exceptions stain the expanse's cold record. Only battles still raging leave faint doubt. Systems harboring multiple inhabited worlds never coexist peacefully with Rak'Gol's holdings. Their presence is an obliterating curse that consumes all. Their planets lie twisted close to shattered relics, archaeotech graves, and xenos ruins. But these remnants are sparse, for the Rak'Gol extermination is merciless, leaving nothing but smoldering ashes and silence where life once dared to bloom.
Fuck yeah, good for them.
Good, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
These
They know
guys
what they
rock.
like, and they just do what they like, you know. Yeah, you know, like they really just they've come in, they're new to the galaxy, and they're making quite the name for themselves, and yeah, just kind of slaughtering their way through.
Yeah.
They're very
Also,
cool.
really, like realistically, like not to be joking about the cancer still, but like you said, they're appeasing corn, but like honestly, the sign of intelligence shows that they might even be enjoying this, so they'd be appeasing Slanesh, and also the big Jax's favorite god, what's his name? The big fat man. Why am I forgetting his name? I love him. Nurgle. Yeah, they gotta be appeasing Nurgle with that cancer beams.
Yeah, you would think, eh?
Yeah.
Boba Jack, you're getting quite the name for yourself here in the chat. We got Grimalda saying Boba Jack is my favorite Twilight Zone Lorehammer episodes. Yeah, like hanging out with you is a trip. It feels surreal.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm either like a fan favorite or like fans love me or they love to hate me, and there's no real in between. Yeah. I'm a character, I think.
I've yet to decide which I think I'm leaning towards definitely arousal though, for sure. Every time I feel like we start getting going, you know, we start hitting on Gerald, things start lighting up. It's nice. We'll see where it goes though.
2 hands on 2 thighs, and they're upper inner, I assure you.
Yeah. Lupercall says Boba Jack makes me want to appease corn sometimes, so I'm assuming that's a threat.
Listen, threats just appeal to my lust, so he will not be safe.
Yeah.
It can't be helped.
Good. Oh man, well that was a fucking heck of an episode. Honestly, I love the Rak'Gol. Yeah. They're so cool. We need minis, man. Here's my sales pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they need to be upgraded to a major Xenos. I think we need some more Xenos out there. We need some more models, some more just variety. And the reason why I think they should be upgraded, you kind of got to look at a couple things. Like, what is their lore? You know, do they have a lot of lore? Does it appeal to people? Does it feel like a certain niche that isn't already there in 40K? Like, we can't have another greater good species out there that niche is taken. And they fulfill this kind of predator niche that is like different. You know, we got tons of predators in 40K, like the Tyranids. They're predators, but they're a different kind. They're like the primal more so than the hunter. You know, it's that different kind of vibe.
Well, no, it's they don't even have like, at least the Nids they're eating, right? They're not hunting to kill you. Like they're not even hunting you as like predator and prey. They're just doing shit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, yeah, that's such a cool aspect. Like,
they're great or bad.
You can put them into the galaxy. They can find all types of cool stuff. When it comes to like them on like tabletop and building out like a model range for them, it would be so cool going through all their different casts and, okay, what do we want to make our battle tanks look like? These Rak'Gol bionic battle tank sized ones, and just kind of growing that size scale. So cool.
Yeah, they're rad.
Honestly, the themes. Rad. Radioactive.
Other things that kind of really go for them is we don't have a lizard. species. We have a bug species, and there's tons of bug fanatics out there where, if you have a bug fan, they go play Tyranids, and there's tons of lizard people. I know Ursats is in the chats. He has whatever, a bunch of lizards and stuff. So like it kind of can lean in and appeal to that type of person,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those filthy cold-blooded lovers.
Yeah, some people like rats, some people like lizards. Whatever. to
Rats
each
are
their own.
delightful characters. Don't throw them into that boat.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, don't compare my rats to your lizards.
Yeah, we'll do some call-ins. Purge is asking. I think, yeah, honestly, I think they need to be like the next big one. Like I can picture their model range. I can picture how different they would be.
Yeah.
The other really cool thing I like them is you get this weird, almost dark mechanicum vibe where you get the mechanical body horror and all these weird things and weird conversions. Where we get this fusion of bionics and xenos, which we really don't have that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, we just have
See,
it.
back in the crude episode, I was talking about, and I was telling you afterwards, I had this idea for like biomechanical crude, and and like with like really crazy cybernetics. Well, this whole thing just kind of makes me want to throw that idea out the window because this already does that. It already fills that niche.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's got a very cool little niche going for sure. They've already even laid out all their squad names and all that kind of still cool stuff. Like they got spaceships. When I've been going through the minor Xenos, these guys actually had probably the most information on them, maybe even more than Kroot.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, they're up there.
Yeah.
Bobby Jack, you had a theory. What was your theory on these guys, and did it hold true?
I think it did actually. They keep dragging people off. You'll have whole ships full of millions of people go missing. You've got just like they go down onto planets. Sometimes they dig through the earth, and sometimes they do things. We're not sure what they're doing on the inside. I think they're all people. I think they're people. I think they're horribly irradiated / mutated people, and they go in there and they turn them into more lizard folk like super mutants in Fallout with FEV. That's honestly all I could think is going on, because even the young are still bigger than a human. So it's not like they need to be producing these eggs and all that. We see that they have the reproduction systems, but do they use them? Who knows? Because I don't see a cloaca.
I want to be the first one to use it, Yeah,
that's exactly. I want to lay an egg. I am the first, not the chicken, but I am the egg. And yeah. But yeah, I think they're people.
So what you're saying is the rads have eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your theory is pretty interesting, and honestly, like, it might be close to what they are. Lots of people definitely speculate that they are some type of like genetically engineered weapon that may have went awry.
I don't even think they went awry. I just think some aliens showed up and went, huh, and didn't like these certain people who were on a planet. They showed up, they turned them all into Rak'Ghouls, and they were like, bye.
Yeah.
And they just fucked off. They released the Rak'Ghoul on us like a parasitic infection.
Yeah, and then just bounce
each other. I don't need to deal with you. They do, like, all of humanity has those weird jagged edge ships that are huge for no reason. So do the Rak'Ghoul. All humanity does all those big guns, big things, big this, big that. So do the Rak'Ghoul. Humanity has psychers. Rak'Ghoul. Humanity uses warp. Rak'Ghoul. I'm just saying, we have all the same shit. They might be a little more primitive, and
humans
also
lay eggs. Rak'Ghoul lay eggs.
I lay eggs. I laid an egg like literally before this podcast started. It was brown.
Oh my god. Okay, what a fucking theory that is.
But I think it's a good idea. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Count me in. Fuck it, might as well.
And then that's why we don't hear a lot of stories about people eating them. Not because of the radiation, but because they're people.
Yeah, because you don't eat people. That would be wrong.
Yeah, and I feel like that's also why we get such like from every other Xenos. I don't really get that uncanny valley vibe as much as I get from them.
Yeah. Weird centaur lizard people.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Gerald, what do you think about that or your own anything?
I have no way to follow up on that. So
If you can.
What I can say is a good kit bash idea would be to take some Seraphon from Age of Sigmar or Fantasy and mix in like a bunch of Necron bits, maybe some Admech bits, maybe some Kroot bits or some Tau bits. I don't know. Anything that you can make look radioactive and just mechanical.
Yeah, I would love to see some 3D sculpted, printed stuff for these guys, but I don't think I've seen anything yet. But we'll get there one day, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Until then, we got we'll do a quick call in. We got one person waiting on the stage. Grim, give me a little nod when you're ready, and you can enter the rad room. All right, yo, what's good?
Here we are at the rad room.
It's pretty cool in here. We got 4 guys.
We got 4 guys. We're all naked. We're all sweaty.
We gotta get a hand check real quick.
Hand
Real
check,
quick,
everybody.
hand check.
How's it going, fellas? Great show
doing
so
good.
far.
Thank you.
Yeah, how you feel about the Rak'Gol? You ever heard of them before?
The only time I've ever heard of them would have been from your Eternal Horizon RPG that you guys had done through the show, of course. And honestly, like you guys played the part fucking bang on, but it's nice going a little bit deeper. Like I don't surf the hyperlinks on the Lexicanon page. You know, this is why we pay the big bucks, so you guys can do it, and then you guys can just tell it off to me. It's so much easier, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why they're cool.
Pardon me?
But first, I'm gonna give you cancer.
Yay, cancer!
Yeah.
You're bound to get it at some point in time, man.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
There was one thing that kind of tickled my fancy there as you guys were talking. You guys were talking about the Rak'Gol have only kind of been on the scene for about 100 years or so. I don't know if there was like a hard and fast number, but the size of their ships, I don't know, man. I feel like that would take like 100 years to fucking build, especially because they don't have the manufactorums. They don't have enough stuff behind it to build something like that. So, like, I get it.
Yeah, like that's a great point. Like it's a massive ship, bigger than 40 or than Imperial stuff. Like how are they building these? They must have a spaceport somewhere capable of it.
I can
Or
tell
is
you
it
how they're
looted?
building it. I can tell you how they're building it. They're building it with people. They got people building it. It's people's ships, and they upgrade them to Rak'Gol. These people. They got
people all the way down.
people all the way down. They got people in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and like that's showing up on the scenes too. Like I would have to really reread that. I didn't pick up the codex. I don't have it down here. Or that Fantasy Flight book game, but I think it was like they just showed up. Like they're pretty recent. It's not that like they have only been around that long, or have only been spacefaring for that long, even, or just became spacefaring, or whatever. It was very vague, very open.
Well, by the time Fantasy Flight had probably published that document, that's probably going back, 10, 15 years at this point in time, too.
Fucking at least, man. Like, yeah, that's before, the Great Rift, which is kind of, in my mind, like a new era, like 42K, we should probably be calling it. But,
yeah.
Whatever.
Well, even then, like, I know it doesn't probably go into super great details in regards with, numbers of ships or even population wise, but I feel like there's the numbers just don't add up. And like you guys had said earlier, if there is going to be something new on the scene, like Leagues of Voton, that was really cool. But I'm a tabletop player. I'd love to fucking see these guys on tabletop. I look at some of the Necron models, especially with the Scorpec destroyers. Like that's almost fucking there, man. Like just slap some flesh on it. Not flare virus, but slap some flesh on it with a couple extra little gubbinses and just pinchies. I think it's there, man. So I mean, if you're looking to like even fab something up. You could just get some green stuff and pack one of those Scorpec destroyers.
I
full of
got
them.
little like geckos running around my house, those little lizards. So maybe if I just even get a couple of those guys, and people have been painting their models with blood. Why can't I make a Rak'Gol out of a real lizard?
And you don't even have to kill it too. You could have it move around the field.
Well,
Exactly.
you got to glue it to the base. You don't want it to run away.
Well, it's got 6 limbs though, so if I grew 2 of them, it's still gonna be moving, which I like. We want that.
Yeah. And then we can just kill one lizard and use its limbs for the other lizard's limbs.
Yeah.
Well, Mark smashed a jellyfish the other day, so what's a gecko, right?
What's a
Did you put
gecko?
it on a sandwich?
No.
No peanut butter jelly?
Just straight down the hatch, like a
Ah.
shot, a jelly shot. Yeah, man.
Nice.
Jelly.
What else about the old Rak'Gol there? Yeah, I would like to see more of them. Like they definitely could be picked up a little more heavily by GW. Like they're not Fantasy Flight Games creation, but they definitely took them and ran with them.
Yeah, and they ran with them hard.
Yeah.
One, like we had said earlier, they've probably been around for about 15 years or so. They've had the opportunity to do it. I think it's kind of a lost cause for us to be expecting something like,
Oh yeah,
perhaps even a kill team. But if we beg and plead enough to the
I could see a
Grandmasters-
kill team.
Yeah, Lorehammer is one of the most popular 40K podcasts too, right? So realistically, we can use our platform to make people uproar and
Yeah,
want cancer.
Vague threats, like if we all just start emailing GW, mailing, texting,
Oh,
however,
and
showing up.
Little piece words cut out of separate magazines.
Yeah, words and hair clippings for sure.
Yeah.
I think we can
on
almost make it.
Warhammer.
Yeah, I think we can make it happen. Personally, we do enough of that. But
Don't
Watch
donate
this
to the
episode
Patreon.
air.
Patreon, and then also hunt down your local British Warhammer official for sport.
For
Watch
sport.
this episode air, and then maybe 2 weeks later, they're going to announce a Rak'Gol kill team.
oh man,
Just like they done with the Emperor's Children, just like they done with the Space Wolves.
hey, whoever's at GW, you listen.
Look
Stop
who's
stealing
following
my
us.
ideas.
That's Osmond. Osmond's the GW official. That's why we've never seen him before.
That's why he's not.
He talked
here.
once. That's why. Oh my god. Also, he might have been upset about the cancer and the sex jokes, but that's unrelated.
Maybe, yeah. Some people might get offended by all the cancer jokes, but you know what I think they should do?
Get cancer.
Worry about their own cancer instead of ours. Fuck.
Yeah, you got cancer in your balls.
Yeah,
Warhammer's
go
not
take
a-
care of yourself instead of our cancer jokes.
Yeah,
I
our
love it.
cancer's our
Gerald is
cancer.
just like he's done. Well, I think we need to let Gerald go and shower maybe. I don't know what you do to get me and
He needs a
Bobby
cold
down.
shower. Look how ready he is. He needs a cold shower.
Yeah.
Maybe a golden shower.
Oh,
You got that 2 for back to back. Now you're trapped.
I'm stuck.
3 men molesting you now.
Oh God.
May the numbers increase.
May the numbers ever be in
We're-
your favor. Okay, yo, that's fucked.
They're
I
against
love
me. I'm at 5 now. 5 of y'all.
it. Yeah,
We love you though.
yeah,
We'll do it more.
yeah.
I have no doubt.
That's how we show our love.
I have no doubt.
That's the sound of a broken man. I love it. All right, well, fun episode, great episode. Honestly, if you're ever gonna email
The
GW,
best
tell them
episode.
the Rak'Gol need to be a thing. They're fucking cool. They could have so many different options. Kit bashing them would be one hell of a cool thing. We need them. We want them. Hey, go check out Lorehammer Listen to Lore podcast. You want to listen to me read your lore? I do that on occasion. Go check it out. Almost 200 stories out.
Woo! And if you want to hear more about fantasy lizards, come over to the Grim Lore podcast, where we talk about Warhammer Fantasy, Age of Sigmar, and other grim and/or dark settings as we so desire.
Yes, and also at one point during this episode, if you are paying for it, you might have accidentally seen my feet. If you want to go back and try and find them, you can. My feet were
Oh.
live.
Oh my god, you know what that's gonna do for some people? You
I
just
know,
wait.
I know. You're gonna get blown up with money to come and watch the lives.
Oh yes,
I've
thank
seen
you.
him put his feet behind his head. It's impressive, man.
Oh
I can't do that live. I don't want anybody else here seeing it, but
no, that's
they have to
that's
pay
only,
for my accounts, and it's not Patreon.
yes, sir.
It's OnlyFans, by the way, is the joke that I have an OnlyFans account.
Yeah. So when this podcast ends, go check out Bobby Jack's OnlyFans, which is
Obi fans.
fuck. Yeah, that is what it is. Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Okay.